But here's what we know. Very early this morning, as it was related to us, 5 young black males committed a carjacking over in celebration of a delivery person, maybe a newspaper delivery person. Winter Haven police then arrested 2 of the 5, and I'll let Chief Byrd talk about that, but then they fled to Tampa to continue on their criminal paths. Now keep in mind, as it's related to us, and we now know, I have the ages of 3 of the 5, and they're all juveniles with no respect for the law and no respect for the criminal justice system. But irrespective of the fact that the chief's officers arrested 2 of them, they continued on in their stolen vehicle that they obtained from the carjacking in Osceola County. When they were in Osceola County, Florida Highway Patrol and Tampa Police Department were able to pick them up and started chasing them back west on the interstate into Polk County. As Tampa Police Department chased them into Polk County, they were joined by the Lakeland Police Department. So TPD, LPD actually arrested 2 of the 3 and in the drain field area of Lakeland. The 3rd one then ran, and he ran into a house, asked to be hidden, and then at some point in time he stole a City of Lakeland truck and continued westbound on the Parkway. As he was coming westbound on the Parkway, sheriff's deputies picked him up and the pursuit began. We pursued, along with the Winter Haven Police Department and other agencies, through Winter Haven, down Havendale until Avenue T in a very congested, busy area, where our deputies were able to successfully pit our last suspect at 7th and T in Winter Haven. He then fled on foot into a lady's house. That's right, 2 elderly ladies were at home where they should have been perfectly safe, and in runs this suspect. Fortunately for them, he was more interested in hiding and not hurting them. They immediately ran out of the house. Winter Haven police officers and the sheriff's deputies had surrounded the house at this time, and he gave up. Guess how old he was? 14. The Winter Haven police officers knew him. He was or had been on probation. So at the end of the day, this crime spree throughout Central Florida fortunately ended up with 5 arrests because of great work by Winter Haven PD, Tampa PD, the Sheriff's Office, and Lakeland PD. No one was hurt, all 5 of them in custody. The question I have for you is, DJJ, what are you going to do with them now? You going to let them out so that they can do more home invasions, so they can carjack more cars, so they can run from law enforcement and risk the lives of other people? Or are you going to do what's right and lock them up in a program? Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for details. Chief, you want to talk about Winter Haven, what occurred there? This is Chief Charlie Byrd. Chief and I are very good friends and have been for years and years, and his awesome guys made the first arrest this morning.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good afternoon. This morning at about 7:30 in the morning, my officers, due to a GPS hit, was able to locate a stolen vehicle, and we arrested 2 subjects in that particular stolen vehicle. The reason we were able to kind of connect the 2 with those 2 with the 3 that we got this afternoon was because, 1, they're frequent flyers of ours. We deal with them on a regular basis. 2, after we arrested them, they started diming each other out about who had taken what vehicle and told us all about the one over in Osceola County. So we know that it was all related. Then these guys, we arrest them, and you would think at that point for a juvenile that would scare them and make them think, well, you know what, we probably ought not to continue this crime spree, but it doesn't. They go over to Tampa and continue to cause problems and then come back through Lakeland. This pursuit at high rates of speed put people in danger. And then to come over here back into our neighborhood and go into this house with these elderly folks is just absolutely unacceptable. Just like the sheriff said, the bottom line is these are juveniles that have no regard for any kind of obeying of the law. It is absolutely unacceptable, and I agree with the sheriff. I'd like to know what DJJ is going to do. Are you going to kick them back out, or are you going to do something with them? That's all I have.
Chief?
Yes.
So were there a total of 3 vehicles stolen here? Is that what?
No, there was the one that was started in Osceola County, the carjacking, and then there was a car somewhere along the line. They stole another car,
Okay.
and that was the car that we recovered with the two original arrests that we had.
Okay, so was that original arrest, was that car stolen in Winter Haven?
I don't have that information.
Okay, so we had the car, then we had the other car, and then we had the Lakeland City truck.
The city vehicle, yes, sir.
Were weapons involved in any of the carjackings?
I don't know that information right now.
You said at a high rate of speed. Do you know the how fast they were going?
I don't have that information right now.
Okay. Any other information?
Dude, Sheriff, I mean, come on. What's going on with these kids?
Well, here's what's going on with these kids. They don't have to be responsible, and they're not being held accountable by the criminal justice system, and specifically the Department of Juvenile Justice. Here's your clue. You can't hug a thug and think they're going to behave. And that's what they were doing. They were hugging a thug instead of these criminal kids, not juveniles making a mistake, but these criminal kids are not being held accountable. And once again, you've seen it over in Hillsborough County and Pinellas County. In Pinellas County, you had a lot of kids die. Well, if they'd been in a program with DJJ, they wouldn't be dead. And we're just blessed that these 5 today didn't kill themselves or somebody else. And nobody wants any of that to occur. So the bottom line is this. We got 2 choices. We can hold them accountable, or we can let them run through the neighborhoods and commit carjackings, home-occupied invasions, and put people's lives at risk. It's a choice that we all can make. Call your legislators, call the Department of Juvenile Justice, and tell everybody, we're over it. We're tired of it.
Now, either you or the chief can answer this, but I mean, how many lives are we talking about that they put in danger? I mean, you're
Hundreds.
Couldn't even count them all.
Hundreds today. Because there was pursuits and stolen vehicles and racing down the highway. Home invasion. That's the bottom line. We're not dealing with kids who are misguided and stole a piece of bubble gum. We're dealing with 114, 115, and 117, and we don't have the ages of the other 2.
17 and 15 of the 2 of ours.
17 and 15, and the one we caught here was 14. And we don't have the ages of the other 2. But at the end of the day, we must hold them appropriately accountable. It's not rocket science, but it's much more important.
Did they all have criminal histories?
We will figure all that out and let you know. As you can see, we're having this press release to you with the information we have now that's bound to change. But some of the Winter Haven officers told me that, we recognize them from having interactions with them in the past, and at least one of them is or was on probation. But guess what? As soon as we get this all sorted out and we find their criminal histories, their felony criminal histories, we'll be back to badmouth the system that doesn't hold them accountable a little more.
You guys have information, are these kids from this area, or are they from Orlando, or?
Some of them are from Winter Haven,
From this area.
but they seem to have left the county to commit their crime.
They got no boundaries.
Okay? Thank y'all.